Alright, so you have your sourdough starter, gluten-free sourdough starter. Comes in about a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more. And first thing to do when you get it is to put it in a jar. This is my jar at home. This is how much I keep in my jar at a time. It's just maybe a tablespoon in the jar. This is called the scraping method, or the scrapes method, or something like that. And you'll just put what you got in the jar, and then you will add a couple tablespoons of gluten-free flour to the jar. That was a heaping tablespoon. Add some water. Give it a stir. And you want it to be kind of on the wet side, like most gluten-free flours need to be. And that, I think, is a little too soupy. You can see. So I'm just going to add a tad bit more to it. Let's see how that is. Yeah. And that's better. See, now it's glopping. Okay. So that's about where you want it. And then I'm just going to get that in. I will literally take my lid, just lightly put it on top, not even scrolling it down, and then I will set it off to the side and let it sit there for overnight. And then in the morning, or actually, no, you know what's better? Do this in the morning when you wake up, put it aside, and then at night, this will literally double. And you'll see all these really awesome little bubbles, and it'll go all the way up to here. And so at night is a good time to make muffins. So I'm going to show you how I make muffins. And I'm going to make a miniature version of this. Normally I take this jar and I make 6 muffins out of it when it's doubled up to that amount. Okay. So, but I'm just going to make it out of this little bit. So I put that in there. I am going to use 1 egg. I don't like to measure. So I'm guessing this is about half a teaspoon. Ooh, I don't even know if I want to put half a teaspoon in this little amount. Let's go with 1/4 of a teaspoon. 1/4 of a teaspoon. Okay. And this is my sugar. I'll have to show you with my this is a tablespoon. I'm going to put, oh, I don't know how sweet I want it. By the way, I'm making apple cinnamon muffins. Oh, let's do that. Okay. Now, let's do cinnamon. Quarter teaspoon, a heaping 1/4 teaspoon. I like that. And let's mix it. Okay, now I'm going to add let's see, can you see what that is? A third a cup. I'm going to add a third a cup of gluten-free flour to this. And oh, I forgot to add the oil. So oil. I'm just using avocado oil. Sometimes I use butter. Let's do two tablespoons. Okay. And the great thing about this is you don't have to be afraid of beating out all the air bubbles, because that will all come later. You're not instantly activating your baking soda or baking powder. The activation is going to take like 10 hours. And you wonder, like, is it safe to leave that at room temperature for 10 hours with eggs? Yeah, actually. It is safe. Partly because you bake it at a high temperature when you're done. And others is that you're actually adding in beneficial bacteria. And they help create a good environment. Okay, so we have, let's see if I can, we have this consistency, which, I don't know. No, I don't think that that's the best. I think that's a little too runny. So I am going to add a little bit more flour, especially since we're going to be adding apples to this. And the apples are going to put off their own moisture while they're baking. So even though gluten-free baking does tend to be a little bit more wet, just, oh, I've got to compensate. So that's a little bit better.
Like a ton of mods.
Yeah. Okay, let's add the apples.
At least 10 mods.
I really like a lot of apples. So this is actually one entire apple. And that is just chunky with apples, but it's gonna taste so good. Okay, set that aside. And I have learned making muffins that they really like, I mean, you could put them just in the pan, but I'm a muffin cup girl, so I like to spray my pans. This maybe is overkill, but it's what I do. Okay, so I give my cups a little bit of a spray. I won't do them all right now. And then I literally get a little bit, plop it in. Of course, goes without saying. And I let this sit on my counter all night until it doesn't raise, it doesn't double when it has all of this stuff in it. So it's not going to like be mounding and poofy. I'll show some pictures what it looks like when it is done, when I am ready to bake it. And when you do bake it, it likes to be about 375 for about, oh gosh, 20 minutes. Something like that. 325 for 20 minutes. Let's just say that for now. And then you're done.